Okay, so next appointment. I had mentioned in the last video that I would make another short video on our visit to the medical to palliative care. Look, we had the appointment. Mum, behaviour-wise, attitude-wise, with regards to her mental health, was spectacular. Considering the last time we went to palliative care, Mum was panicking as soon as we arrived in the car outside. She was panicking when we were walking towards the lift well. She was panicking in the lifts. As we were coming through the front doors, she was searching for, where's the toilet? I've got to go to the toilet. I've got to go to the toilet. Got her into the loo, did a business, come back out. She was still panicking. The nurse practitioner was already waiting for us, took us through, and it really was a spiral from there down. So the last visit, Mum had struggled very much, and I think actually that was the visit that had convinced me to start making these videos for me to kind of reflect on where we are and what we're doing, and reaching out on other people that are going through similar situations. Look, we turned up. Mum was smiling. She was feeling good. The nurse practitioner came out. I looked at her as she was coming into the reception area. You could see the trepidation on her face. Mum turned to look at her with a big smile on her face, and the nurse practitioner just relaxed. So we took Mum into the room. So as we go into the room, the nurse practitioner is working in clinic room number 13. Now, Mum, for her whole life, her entire life, has had a issue with the number 13 being unlucky. Anyone that knows Mum ever would know about the problem that Mum has with number 13. We were in that room, the same room last time, and Mum now associates that room number 13 with the panic attacks. We walked in the room, the nurse practitioner closed the door. Mum saw 13 and she said, "Oh, can we change the rooms? Can we change the rooms?" And we kind of shut that down really quickly. No, we can't change the rooms. Yes, we're here. The nurse we're going to let's talk about, and bang, we're into the questions. And Mum kind of forgot about number 13 pretty quickly. And they got into having a really good discussion. They got into having a conversation which was valuable and made sense, and Mum gave lots of input at the right times. At times, Mum struggles to articulate the things that we talk about when she's in with the medical professionals, because it's kind of like they're putting her on the spot. When we talk about things, sometimes it takes a little time to draw information out of Mum. And look, I don't think that's anything more than just old age and getting a little bit confused sometimes about, I take the Famara and the little brown pill and what's that for? And, it's that kind of stuff, right? Just because, look, it is what it is. We're in there talking to the nurse practitioner. Mum had mentioned a couple of her pains again. The nurse practitioner kind of jumped immediately to telling Mum that she can have more endone, more oxycodone. You can have more than that. The script says, 1 every 6 hours, only 4 a day. But, if you need more than that, you can take more than that. And Mum's like, it's mainly at night when I'm going to bed. And the nurse practitioner's like, well, you can take 1 every night when you go to bed. And I was thinking, well, Mum doesn't need 1 every night. And yes, she could take 1 every night, but she doesn't need 1 every night. One of the concerns is constipation. Now, Mum was on a morphine patch called Norspan, and she was on that for many years. She was on it for her back. the Norspan patch, we identified it was the main culprit in giving Mum constipation. Mum's constipation was ever present. It was very inconveniencing for her. She would have problems, and eventually she at one point slipped into a delirium, which obviously was associated with the constipation, because when they gave her a fleet enema, it cleared up in 20 minutes. But, I was a little bit concerned about the nurse practitioner just saying, yeah, take as much as you want, take as many of the endone as you need, because we're going to get the pain under control, so your sleep's really good, so your attitude's good. And I kind of understand that. However, Mum, and I'm sure thousands in her generation, have been conditioned by their doctors over decades to take a tablet because it'll make you better. And sometimes tablets don't make you better. And sometimes the same tablets shouldn't be taken, in my opinion, year after year for an ailment that changes over time, and your medication regimes change over time. So I was a little bit concerned when the nurse practitioner had kind of indicated to Mum, yeah, you can take as much as you want, and you can... I was like, I don't want to get into this again. So we kind of left with Mum was still very happy. She was comforted. The nurse practitioner, in her own words, was shocked at how well Mum was doing, pleasantly surprised, sat there, had a nice conversation with her, and then off we went. Mum and I had a bit of a talk in the car, and I'd suggested to her, we don't want to take endone when we don't need it, and we don't want to take more of it than we need to, because we don't want to get into a situation where she is, we don't want to get into a situation where she's getting constipated because of that medication, and then we're dealing with side effects, some of them quite serious, because she's taking too much of a medication when she may not need enough of that medication. It seems to be a part of the process with palliative care. The nurse practitioner asked about the Tarjan that Mum's taking, and she said, look, if you're taking more endone, I'll fill out this report, then I can increase your Tarjan dose. And I was like, we've spent 9 or 12 months getting Mum off a lot of medication that she didn't need. We don't want to jump back into it. So, look, it was a good visit, made Mum comfortable, answered some questions for me, gave them the information they wanted. We got home, Mum was very relaxed, and she got ready for afternoon. She got ready for bed in the afternoon. And when I took her through and took her to bed, as we always do when we go to say prayers, she said to me, oh, where's my tablet? I need my tablet. And I knew instantly that she was referring to what the nurse practitioner had told her. So, the nurse practitioner giving Mum permission to take the endone immediately caused Mum to take an endone when she hadn't even mentioned her shoulder all afternoon or all evening. I'm not saying that Mum is drug dependent, but I think, like many old people who have spent decades getting medicated treatments from their doctors, Mum will instantly reach for a tablet instead of trying some alternative treatments. If the shoulder was playing up that afternoon and that evening, we've used heat packs successfully in the past, but Mum needs to tell us if she's got pain so that we can set up the heat pack and use that to see if we've got some relief. What happened the next night was more interesting, because she went to bed and she didn't think about the endone or the shoulder. We went in, put her to bed, said our prayers, let her sleep, and the next morning, which was Sunday, Mum woke up with some anxiety, and you could see it. You could just see it on her face. And she said the cause was the pain in her shoulder and down her arm which she normally doesn't complain about early in the morning. And I think just to reinforce the fact that she had some pain, she then said, "Oh, and I've got terrible pain in my feet as well, underneath them and on top." And at that point I knew that our plans for the day were going to be cancelled, that it was going to be not as plain a sailing as we have had. So, look, what I put that down to is the fact that the nurse practitioner giving mum permission to take endone whenever she wants for pain. She did it the first night. That satisfied her in her mind that she was getting the treatment, the pill that she needed. She forgot about it the second night, and I think when she woke up in the morning, she remembered that she hadn't taken it, and therefore that early morning thinking, worrying, mulling over the same stuff over and over again, by the time she came out of her bedroom, her shoulder was very sore, and on top of it, she had very bad pain on the bottom of her feet and top of her feet. The next couple of hours was us just dealing with those emotional feelings about the shoulder and the feet and everything else. But you know what? As the day progressed, all that kind of stuff went away, and it wasn't an issue. And in the afternoon, my sister and her family visited, and Mum's mind was well and truly off of the shoulder and the feet, and there was no more indication of shoulder pain or feet pain for the rest of the afternoon or early evening. Then when Mum was going to bed last night, I asked her about her shoulder pain, and she kind of, "Oh, it is sore." And I said, "You can have a tablet if you want, but only take it if you have to." And to her credit, she said, "Oh, how about I just have half a one?" And that's okay. So what I'm trying to do is not give her medication, but I'm trying to minimize the use of medication when it's not really needed, because I want it to be available as a practical treatment for her when it is really needed. And she will get a boost from the treatment that's available when she needs it. Not rely on it as a crutch when she doesn't need it. So look, that's where we're at. She woke up this morning. She was quite good this morning. I think it's a good balance. We're going to continue along this path and keep records of when she's getting this pain-killing treatment, and hopefully over time we will learn more and more. So look, that's another reflection on a professional, an interaction with a professional healthcare provider. I'm going to make another video at some point in the future about these nurse practitioners and their roles, because I think they're really important roles, really valuable people in the ongoing care of mum. And there's a couple of nuances there that I don't know whether this is practiced just in my state or whether it's outside in other states in Australia, or indeed it may be like this in other countries around the world. But I think it's worthwhile at some point having a chat about nurse practitioners. It is stinking hot in my city today. I've got a fan over there, I've got the windows open, but I'm sure you'd be able to see I've got sweat on my brow. So I think it's time for me to go, have a cold drink, get outside into the breeze, but very much in the shade, and try to cool down for the rest of the afternoon. Thanks for joining us again at Caring for Mum. Appreciate you spending your time. Share this video with other people that might be interested with the content. Please do comment below, give me some feedback on your thoughts or advice that you have for me, and feel free to like the video, or you can even dislike it if you want. Thanks very much for joining us again. Take care, and God bless.